Welcome, everybody. And I just got a notice that the broadcast to Facebook may not be working. If you're trying to access it through Facebook or if you're on YouTube, if you'd let the people over on Facebook know that it may not be broadcast tonight. But I am live tonight with Rick Kuhl Jr. of Kuhl Corporation. We're very pleased to have him on board tonight. We're talking about supply line issues. Now, Rick is a diamond sponsor of the North American Gamebird Association. The company has been longtime members. Rick and his dad are both members of the board of the North American Gamebird Association, and he is supplier and provider both for providers for game birds and for hunt clubs. So tonight we're going to talk about a problem that has come up in our industry of supply line issues. First of all, though, Rick, I want you to tell us the story of that you told me at the Las Vegas convention that happened when the COVID shutdown happened.
Sure thing. And also, thank you for having me tonight. I'm excited for this. So I guess, like you said, I said this at the Las Vegas convention. If you haven't gone to a convention yet, I suggest you should go to one. They're wonderful, great information, a lot of fun as well. But the story I told was basically I was flying home from Chicago to New Jersey, where our company is located. And it was March of 2020. And for those who don't remember, March of 2020, the eye of the storm for COVID was in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
Yeah.
So I was basically flying back into the eye of the storm. A little worrisome, but hoping for the best, hoping.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all in that. I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, and I was just hoping that it would be a short-term thing, that it wouldn't last long. So then we're still dealing with the blow of it today. But anyway, I fly back, and a few days back home, my father comes to me on Sunday and says, make sure you're on time at work on Monday. Now, it's kind of an odd thing. I know every once in a while I might be in a little bit late to work, but generally he doesn't say that to me. So he got the scoop before I did. I pull into the front, walk around the building to where my desk is, and I see an empty parking lot. The parking lot where our employees would normally park, a bunch of our employees elected to stay home due to the fear of COVID-19.
Yeah.
So that left a good portion of employees out for about 6 weeks.
That's a long time for any business, isn't it?
Yeah. And we allowed it to happen. We didn't want to pressure anyone to coming back. And during that time, for those who do work in the office, we do have accommodations where they could work from home during that time as well. We were eventually able to do that. But that was a scary time because essentially that left me with having one job to having 5 jobs during this 6-week span, where I'm taking orders, writing up orders, being a box runner, shipping things out UPS. It was a very scary time, and I didn't know how long it was going to last. Like I said, we didn't pressure any of our employees to come back right away. Eventually, the employees did come back once they felt it was safe. And another thing about that time was I know certain states, manufacturing was mandatory shutdown when everything turned into a lockdown.
You think that was because of the proxy everybody was in, or what do you think about that?
I don't. It was just whatever each state's government was thinking they needed to do to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Now, right. New Jersey was actually not a shutdown state for that. There was certain things that they did shut down, but not manufacturing, which we are in the category of. So thankfully, we never had to shut down. But during that time, a bunch of other locations did have to shut down. Going into the topic of today, certain supply chains
Right.
were cut off for many weeks into months, which put back production on certain products for a few months. Thankfully, most of them we were able to keep. We had enough stock of, but it took a little bit until up to a few months ago, 2022, that we were able to fully restock on certain items that we provide.
Mhm.
So it was quite scary, the beginning of COVID. And thankfully we didn't have too many COVID scares when it comes to employees possibly getting the disease.
Mhm.
We actually were more affected by the Omicron version that came out, I guess, last year, or a little less than last year.
Seems like forever ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, we were more affected by that than the original, which was good because it seems like this variant isn't as hurtful as the others. But
All right, well, back to your story. Your dad said, be there on Monday. What happened on Monday?
well, on Monday I get there and none of the employees, well, not none, a bunch of the employees elected to stay home. So that was kind of scary because there wasn't the full-on workforce there. So me, my sister who was working there at the time, my father, we all had to put on a lot more hats than we normally had to keep the business running at a certain time.
If I remember correctly, you said he told you to park around the back of the building. You drove around the building and there was nobody there. It was just an empty parking lot.
Yeah, the parking lot was completely empty. So I pray to never see that vision again. That was probably one of the scariest visions I've seen in the past 5 years.
Yeah. All right. So fast forward to now. Where are you at as far as supply line issues? For us, it was, let's see, that Christmas, things that I ordered didn't come. They were stuck in a semi in Akron, Ohio, near a warehouse. There are pictures of 10 tractor trailer trucks that the trailers were full of packages and nobody could get them. Something that I ordered a month, well, before Thanksgiving, showed up February 1st.
Yeah.
After I'd reordered it in January because it hadn't come. That one came in 4 days. But then the other package got released and it came, and there we were with, 2 of the same thing. So what's happened with you?
So I'll give you an example of one of our bigger items. We have a 300-pound range feeder that is very popular, and we were able to have a stock on that from the beginning of the pandemic till about 8 months in. So from March 2020 to November 2020. After that, we had to put this product on back order for almost 8 months. Couple big reasons. So like I said before, with certain states and certain areas cutting out manufacturing, there are other divisions that were cut out too, depending on the state. Now this one of the areas that we would normally get our plastic in, they had to shut down for about 3 months, but they were still able to sell plastic. So it would go from the maker of plastic to the distributor of plastic, and then to us. And then, so at this point, at the beginning phase, they would send one skid of plastic over, then that plastic skid would get over to us. Few months in, when they weren't able to have as many employees at these locations, they were probably only able to produce, say, a half a skid of plastic. So the amount of plastic that was being sent out to what was being made was cut down tremendously. So that was fine towards the beginning of the pandemic, but a few months in, they didn't have enough plastic to provide for other people. And that isn't just for our industry. If you were to go into a convenience store and look for Gatorade bottles, the plastic for Gatorade bottles, there would be empty shelves of Gatorade bottles because they didn't have enough plastic for Gatorade.
Mm-hmm.
So it affected all sorts of different
And
plastic.
part of that, people were buying up Gatorade because you drank Gatorade to stay hydrated, to avoid the COVID, that was one of the things that we actually bought a couple of 6-packs or whatever and had on hand because it was said that's what you should drink.
Yeah. So that was a big stop point for us in the middle. It was hard for us to get plastic. Now the next thing is to have certain things made for us. We have molds, but they're able to be made more efficiently at outside locations, whether it be in Pennsylvania, Delaware, somewhere close to us, where shipping the product back to us doesn't cost that much. We had to change manufacturers of this 300-pound feeder once or twice during this time frame, so that cut down in production at the beginning there as well. Fast forward to April of 2022. What we were able to change. One, the production of plastic, just like the bare grid of plastic, is up to standard now. So it is getting back to normal.
So life is resuming.
Life is resuming, but saying that, it's still taking time to build up the growth of production of plastic. So it is still a little bit slow, but it is not as slow as about 8 months ago. And we were able to get this feeder made at a much faster rate now, but much faster than 8 months ago than when we were not able to get it done. So the production has picked up, which is good, and plans on staying in production for a while for that product as well as our other products. It's going to take time with certain things. To get stock of certain things is taking a little bit longer. When normally it would be, when you'd order stock, it would take to about 2 months to fill up on this stock. It's now taking 3 to 3.5 months to fill up on this stock. So when a customer calls in and asks for a certain thing, we generally say it's about 7 to 10 days to get to you. We've had to push that back to 10 to 15 days. So a big thing I would say to consumers, whether it be for Gamebird or if you're buying clothes and you're planning on going on a trip, plan ahead a little bit sooner, because it is.
Don't like to do that. We like to be impulsive. Go in, grab something. I want immediate. We're a microwave society. We want things now, if not sooner.
Yeah, and it is going to be a little bit of adjustment time, I think, for a lot of us. I mean, I'm the same way. I like ordering things off Amazon and getting them right away. But I've also noticed that Amazon doesn't provide next day shipping like they used to. It's more like 3 to 5 days now, for at least for my area. So it's just a slow adjustment period, because we were very used to being able to order and get it almost right away, whereas depending on what UPS ground takes to Ohio from New Jersey, for example. So it is a little bit of a slower process, but like I said, the production has picked back up. Now, if there be any more COVID scares, I don't know what that would affect. That's kind of hard to predict at this moment.
Right.
What we're trying to do is create more stock so we can keep more things, so we have a higher inventory value when it comes to getting the products to our customers. So that is the major thing that we are doing right now.
And that sounds like a smart thing. I remember when we were studying World War II during our homeschool years, that there was a saying they used during World War II, use it up. Let me see if I can get this up here. I wanted to share it, so I made a little banner of it. This is it. Use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. And that is how people handled things back. You would repair things. You would recycle it, reduce, reuse, recycle. We would be able to, okay, I can't find this product, but I can use this other one. So if someone, say, needs a range feeder and you don't have that in stock, what can you do? Can you use a smaller one, use two of them? Can you, what can they do? What can people in our industry do?
Well, I mean, there is the used market, but when you were to do that, you want to be careful, especially with the influenza that is happening right now. Make sure that everything is clean. That is one option. Number two, we are not Kuhl Corporation. I'm sure everyone knows this is not the only provider in these certain things. There are
work with other providers of materials like this to say, I can't get it to you, but I have somebody else who can.
I have before pointed someone in another direction to a different provider if I think it might be cheaper for them. I have no problem for that because I find that people like that if you're being honest with them, whether you think that it's going to hurt my business or not. Hopefully it helps my business when people,
because you gain credibility. And it's the miracle on 34th Street where one store recommends the other, and I've never seen that before. You've got my business.
Yeah. So there are other methods, and like you said, you can buy more smaller feeders. Now people don't like to do that because it is less efficient, but that is an option. So those would be the top three, as well as if you're able to repair something pretty easily, then I would say try to repair it. Because buying new equipment can cost a lot depending on how much you are going to need. So if you're able to repair it, and we provide replacement parts for majority of our pieces of equipment, whether it be laying nests or feeders, we do supply. If you just need a leg for a feeder or a roof for a nest top, like we provide
ways to stretch out the life of a product, and reinforce it. But most of them are plastics. Can plastics be repaired? Can they be?
Not necessarily. Like if there's a piece of plastic, you could buy a replacement piece, whether it be a hood or a shield.
But there's a point where you need a new unit.
Yeah.
To be able to
mean, duct tape can only do so much.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah, it's true. Rick, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to add before I let you go?
Follow us on our social medias. We're just picking that up. So follow Kuhl Corp on Facebook and Instagram. We hired someone named Courtney that's doing a great job with that right now. Wonderful. So follow her posts on there. Besides that, thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for being here. I know it's an issue that's going to continue, and I thank you for your involvement with the North American Gamebird Association and for your work on the board. Yeah. So we'll say goodbye, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Peg.
All right. Well, I want to make just two more announcements here. I want to remind our listeners of the Hunt Club Conference that will be July 18th to the 20th. At Deer Creek State Park it's Mount Sterling, Ohio, halfway between Columbus and Cincinnati. It's a beautiful venue, and the speakers that we have on board who have committed to come are excellent. We have topics like marketing and managing the customer base. We have Dale Carnegie, master instructor on customer service, dealing with the people part of the operation, and so on. I really encourage you to make your reservation on NorthAmericanGamebird.com, as well as making your reservation for your housing already, because it is summer. Obviously, July is summer, and we want to make sure that you get the housing option that you want. There's camping. You can bring in an RV. You can rough camp. You can use a cabin. They have a cabin that will keep so many people. I believe it's 8. And there's the lodge, and the lodge is a wonderful facility, and it's a 4-star, 5-star type hotel. Additionally, avian influenza is incredibly spreading. It is in all sorts of, well, we've seen 3 hunting preserves that have gone out of business or have been affected by this. One has gone out of business, others were affected. And for the most part, it involves ducks of some sort. If you do raise ducks, biosecurity is paramount, and we have more information available on the NorthAmericanGamebird.com website. And with that, folks, I'll bid you good night, and thank you for stopping by.